Yeah.
Really explain to us how to do Hey Yo.
1, 2, 3.
Hey!
Hey,
Yo!
yo.
Yo!
Hey, yo.
Oh, Canada has brought us the follow-ups.
Well, they're not coming back. Like they're not... Yes, we have the Followups, who are a Canadian-based band, and we were supposed to tour with them this past summer, but with the COVID-19 breakout, completely hampered all and any plans to do any type of playing anything. Yeah, it sucks. But they're a cool bunch of guys, funny, entertaining, very entertaining, and you're going to see why now. These two have been looking forward to this for some time, so so this should be interesting.
I am so excited to meet the people behind the Crystal Lake and all of their other cool songs. The Razor Ramon, Hey Yo. They are so much fun and so exciting and so cool. I can't wait to meet them.
Give it up.
Let's see the follow-ups.
Follow up.
Or whoever
What's
talks.
up?
Yo.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
There you go.
Grego.
But I couldn't resist. What's up? Oh, I think his
Yeah, your mic's still you're still muted. There we go.
We all good?
Hey.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
Nothing.
We were just talking about going to be able to fit. I don't think we've had like the full band. It's usually like one or two people.
Yeah, it's all actually. This is the first time ever we're just doing a full band.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm the most, so we'll see if everyone else can even get in.
Suckers. It just be us.
We're going to make you feel uncomfortable for the next 30 to 45 minutes then.
Well.
Well.
Yeah. So how are you guys? How many of these have you guys done so far? A couple, eh?
We've done a bunch. I just haven't edited everything yet. I still have to do it.
We're trying to release like one a month, give or take. So we just kind of started getting caught up but we have like probably at least like 6 or 7 that aren't even edited, just waiting. So you guys will be in. Yeah, it's fun. It's a good quarantine activity.
Yeah, but I'm gonna share that too.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys been with the whole quarantine?
See that? That's what I'm working on.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Yeah. So
that is awesome.
That'll be your
good job, bro.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so Tyler, you just came on.
A whole Tyler.
All right. All right. Who wants to start?
What? You can start. Yeah, sure.
Okay. The way this usually goes is we all go around, like we ask like 3 or 4 questions. I guess with you guys, we'll ask you guys as a band like 3 or 4 questions, and then you just answer, and we just shoot the shit.
That's how you have a conversation, I suppose.
Yeah, that's exactly the way that sounded like, a conversation.
We're still teaching him social skills. So we broke it down.
What if I ask a question, you answer, and then we talk?
Pretty much.
Awesome. Got it.
So I think what I think what Dan says, we go rotation. So like each of us asks a question.
Okay.
We have like about 3 to 4 rounds of that, and then
Cool.
then we ask you to plug yourself at the end. So like anything you want to talk about, anything you're doing, just kind of let it all out the end.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Dan, you start this off, you punk.
I gotta start this off. Shit. All right, fine.
Prepare.
I'm going straight to my favorite song right off the bat, which is "The Ballad of Razor Ramon." I'm a huge old school wrestling fan.
Cool.
Huge old school, and I'm curious. I saw a meme a long time ago with Razor Ramon and the Ramones, and I swore to myself that you guys, the influence of that song, came from that meme. Is that true?
I don't write the songs. That's for the guy that's sleeping. That's a question for the guy that's sleeping. So we're off to a great start.
Oh, great.
He's broke his heart. He just broke his heart.
Wake up, man! Wake up!
Just go over there, whisper in his ear. Did you write that Razor?
Just go over there and like, open his eyes for him. Like,
I'm gonna guess no. He's a pretty creative dude, Kaiser. So I'm gonna guess he probably didn't take it from a meme, but maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that's no. So when he brought that idea to you guys, what were you guys like? Oh yeah, Razor Ramon. He's a cool guy, Chico, I guess. Well, oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
He happened to be like my favorite wrestler, like in the Super Nintendo game, like the Royal Rumble game.
yeah,
my favorite game to use, so I was in favor of it.
When he brought that to the jam, it was almost an instant like, oh man, I can't believe no one thought of that. You know what I mean? And like I'm sure people did along the way, but for someone to write that song, I was like, thank God it was Kaiser, and it worked out.
I mean, it definitely did. I saw and I remember back with Diamond Dallas Page, he even shared the song to try to get it out to Scott Hall.
Yeah, actually, cool. Kaiser like wrote him.
Oh.
And like just like a shot out of the blue, saying, "Hey, do you think Scott Hall?" Like not thinking that he would ever write back or anything like that, and he did, and it was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
So is he the only one that writes the songs? He writes
mostly, yeah. Like he'll normally bring a song to us, and then we'll like sort of do our thing to the song. If that sounds terrible.
Yeah, he brings a skeleton to the table, and then we just kind of like, we all have different influences. So Tyler has some like different like thrashy medley stuff in there. I come from some of that as well. The other two boys are pure different punk in different ways, and it all just kind of blends into, I don't know, whatever the Followups is.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess that kind of adds like a little bit to my questions. You guys reference a lot of pop culture. There's horror. Are all of you guys like the horror fans, or is it just Kaiser?
No, definitely.
A lot of horror themed stuff going on.
I have lots of different. I'm quite influenced by horror stuff, so it's an added bonus for me to play like his songs. Definitely. I love the video and the song for Crystal Lake. Did you guys like? Who came up with the idea to put it on the video game? That was brilliant. That like brought me back. Actually, I do think that was Kaiser's idea too. Yeah, and then the guy put it all together.
It's such a great hook, and it's like just such a fun. It's a fun video to watch. It's just fun, and like that's what I really appreciated about you guys. That I'm just gonna like throw in there is that I love that you guys just seem like a fun band. Like I know you guys don't write the songs, but the songs they're lighthearted, they're fun, they're funny. Like, do you feel like the punk scene is not as fun as it used to be, like way back in the day, in like the 90s?
Like shows and everything like that. They're so much different now.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I personally started like listening to punk and going to shows, part of it was like I didn't feel safe going to a punk show, and that's sort of what drew me there, I guess. So like, and I don't think it's that anymore. It's just
and I think
bunch of old dudes.
I think punk itself now got like everyone's this. I find they're just needing perfection, and punk kind of lost some of its rawness and funness and just whateverness. You know what I mean? And for us, like Followups, definitely don't take ourselves too serious. We definitely enjoy it and try to do it to the best we can. But at the same time, like it's music. It's meant to be a little fun.
Yeah, I like that you guys don't seem to be like you're following a trend. You're just doing your own thing, which is so refreshing to see in the punk scene. Because I feel like a lot of newer bands, seem like they're trying to follow this pattern. Pop punk is supposed to sound like Paramore or like Fall Out Boy or some other bullshit like that. And you guys are like that fun, funny.
True punk right there, the 3 chords.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not that good.
Yeah.
I love that about you guys. And do you feel like that makes it like, is it harder to get shows where you guys are at? Or is it like, no, there's still venues that have that kind of atmosphere, that sound?
I don't know, man. Like, it's definitely where we are. The music scene's so tight as it is already. There's not too much of it. So in our genre, there's only a couple bands. So like, we're usually traveling 8 to 10 hours to go, just start our tour pretty much. And then it's even smaller there. But I mean, the people that love that genre, like the Ramones core genre and all that, like, they really love it. You know what I mean? Even though it's not huge and massive like the actual full pop scene, the people that do really enjoy it, really damn enjoy it, which is cool. So it keeps it alive.
Cool. Chivo?
Well, I mean, did you have any more questions? I don't know. It was like 6 questions. You just asked them.
I was asking follow-up questions.
I'd go do it on the drums, but I don't know how to play the drums.
Bitch!
All right. So
I can hardly play the guitar.
Well, tell us. I mean, the thing is, like, for people that are uninitiated to who you are and what you guys are about, tell us about yourself, like how you guys formed, the history of the Followups.
You want to do this one, Greg?
I guess we both have little parts of it, so
yeah.
I'll start and then you come in and then I might finish. So
okay.
Me and
Sounds
Mike.
Sexy.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm gonna finish.
Wow. But no, it's
I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could do it either. Wow.
Lots of
A whole bunch of Wookiees in here.
Me and Kaiser played in a one-off cover night where we covered the Riverdales. I met him through a buddy, and then we ended up playing with our bass player now. Funny thing about that band is I played drums, Mike played bass instead of guitar, and Jamie played guitar instead of bass. And then we just jammed for that one-off, and then all of a sudden I get a message one day that said, hey, do you want to come drum for this other thing I'm maybe thinking that's going to go down? And then I guess Tyler can say how that kind of went down because they started it. So,
well, Kaiser and I are like quite similar in the sense that we're like very extroverted or introverted, I should say. And so we had like sort of like been talking. In Canada here, we have like a Craigslist, the U.S. version of Craigslist, but it's called Kijiji. I don't know if you ever heard of Kijiji, but that's what it's called.
So Canadian.
Yeah. But
family in Toronto. So yeah, I know. I got you.
Okay, yeah. Cool. So anyway, I put an ad up on Kijiji just looking for somebody to just thinking to jam. I just like gone through a divorce and stuff like that. So like I moved here, like we're in Moncton here from Ontario, and I sort of got shacked up almost right when I moved here. So I never really met any friends or nothing like that. So I just put an ad up looking for people to jam, and he messaged, and it took us about like 3 months to actually get together and meet. Like we'd make plans, like once a week we'd make plans, And then one of us would be like, I got this to do tonight, and then we would just stay home and probably sit on the couch. Anyway.
Typical follow-up.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not a people person. So, anyway.
I hear you.
And then he brought me over. We rented a little rehearsal space, and he brought Greg in, and we started jamming.
Yeah.
And
the little per hour jam spot that we went to, and we played Misfits covers, and we did our first Teenage Strangler cover, and we only played like 3 or 4 songs together max, and rest I guess is history. We got a bass player so late too. Honestly, like we didn't have a bass player until we played 2 shows 6 months in or something like that. So
yeah, they're overrated.
They are.
Can you see this? It's fading out. Well, that's pretty awesome. It's always cool that when it's just like a really simple thing and it kind of just all falls together. What are you looking to do as far as the band itself? What are you guys looking to do moving forward after the pandemic's going? After this whole thing shit is over. What are you looking to do? Man.
Play shows.
Anywhere particular looking to go?
I miss playing shows.
Yeah.
Tour. Have you guys come out?
Yeah.
I was looking to tour.
We got ripped off on that one, so.
Yeah, man, that sucks, man. We were looking forward to that. That was a big deal. We put a lot of work into setting that up too. We're like,
I'm sure you did.
And we had two big tours, like for us anyway, with some like really killer bands, like you guys being one of them for our second tour, and we had everyone from like Dave Rocket and the Jobbers to Johnny Terrian and friggin' School Damage. Like there was a ton of bands, like all of our favorite bands in Canada, and we were going to get to play with them. And then we're going to get to do it in a couple months with you guys and do all the same things. And we're hoping to get out one more time. And yeah, it all kind of went. So when all this kind of goes back, man, I just want to get the music out there. You know what I mean? Like just get it everywhere we can. Go have fun and see some faces.
Yeah.
All right. I guess it's my turn.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm just curious because I've never been to Canada in my life, and that was one of the biggest things going to tours. Actually, going to Canada for the first time ever, and I was like, that's why I was hoping when we were hoping to get that tour together with you guys. I was like stoked before like COVID-19 like fucked everything up. But at least made a question. Like you kind of like touched on it a little bit with the Canada scene and the bands around, but how is like in general, how is the scene up there? It's like when you do play shows, like you said, it's just really you guys. You feel like you're just like a niche band and can't like with no other bands like to really play with or anything else. Or it's just like how is the scene just in general?
Go ahead, Greg. You were gonna say something.
Yeah, I never know, bro. There's 2 of us. I don't know. Like the scene's. I don't know. It's rough, like compared to what it used to be, but I think it might be everywhere. Like. I find online you're only seeing the best of the best a lot of the time, so you're not sure what that scenes are. But I've seen some incredible bands play to no one, and I've seen some bands play to insane amounts of people. So I don't know if it's just a different age, different era, if it's just festivals are popular compared to small bars like it used to be, or what it is. But like it is very up and down. It can be the best band in the world and no one will show up, and it can be just a random night and everyone seems to come out. So I don't know what it is anymore. I don't know if it's about the music or just about the going out and stuff, and you just have that pocket of people that are just really tight in there for the music and for the specific bands. But I find we've played some really, like the East Coast is a lot harder. Quebec's pretty amazing. Ontario seems to be really good. And then we haven't went west far over there. So you find your really, really good pockets. And I find, like I said, there's no rhyme or reason, but you'll get some crazy shows when it's just playing with the bands, and then you'll get some shows where it's just packed and everyone's going crazy. How is it up in the States, though? It looks like, honestly, like the target market where I would want to go, and we have a lot of fans, is the United States. And it seems like it didn't make it so damn hard to get over there from Canada. Like, it's not you guys, it's just the whole working visa and the crazy things and stuff like that. Like you guys probably ran into that. I don't know actually if you do, if you're from the States, but I know in Canada it's extremely hard to get to the States. It costs each band member a couple grand just to go over for a little bit of time. So yeah.
Wow. It's
it sucks here right now.
yeah, pretty much.
You don't want to come over here right now.
I have a passport, so I can just go over.
Everybody here wants to go to Canada. So.
Yeah, you're not missing much here. It's a very it's very hit or miss. It really depends where you go. It depends. Like here in New York, you would think it would be like amazing, but again, it's very, very hit or miss. Like
New York is a very poppy scene. It's about
I think.
Yeah. Well, Cali wasn't that bad. Cali actually, they had more of a. You felt more at home in California. I think as far as for the scene wise, like you saw more bands are coming from Seattle and Oregon down.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So like you had, and we met a few of those bands, and they were like really cool, like that the camaraderie and like that brotherhood.
Yeah.
That you felt it when you hung out with these people like for the first time, and you felt like so comfortable. So like you got like that family feel. It was really cool, and and that was just and it makes you miss going where you were, especially now that you can't go. You're like, God damn it!
Are you like locked in your state, or like you can't leave New York, or?
Well, with New York, if you leave, you have to there's all this shit. You have to
2 weeks,
quarantine for 2 weeks, so you can't really leave because who can take off that long?
Yeah.
You have to quarantine for 2 weeks, or you get a $10,000 fine.
Oh, so crazy.
Crazy. Yeah.
There and back.
Nobody's leaving.
Yeah, like so if you leave, and then when you come back, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, which is makes no sense.
Yeah.
Let's take a month to go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And where about are you guys like in New York City, or are you like just in the state? Like
we're in
the suburbs.
Live is like surrounding the city. Basically, I just recently moved back up from the city, but the area like where we all live, we're kind of spread out. It's like 30 minutes to the city, 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Yeah, it's not that far.
I'm the furthest. I'm like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. I can tell from the knives. All the knives behind you.
He's trapped in someone's basement.
Just put trees there. Change that to trees.
He's like, "Hey man, you got your buckskin knife out here?"
Skin does what it's told.
Oh, precious.
Don't lean back too far. You might get stabbed.
Or donut.
Earthquake happened. Now he's on the
I have a question for you guys. So you guys have been on tour together, correct?
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah.
So do you have? I want to just I love this. I love hearing people's tour stories, tour horror stories, or funny stories. Do you guys have any memorable moments, crazy shit, anything that happened on tour that you wanted to share?
Maybe the motel. The motel, I would say, is probably the worst one.
Did it have bed bugs?
Do tell.
Dude, honestly, so we played Montreal, and we were like, do we stay in Montreal and then deal with the traffic, or do we just drive like an hour out, find a whatever motel, and then finish on after that? So we're like, no, let's do that. So while we're going, we're looking up, and we're like, let's just get like the worst rated one. Let's just pick it. Let's just go for it. We're going to get the worst. So we do, and it really was the worst. We got there, and it was 3 or 4 in the morning, and it's pitch black, and some dude's working on like a Cadillac in the front with like a tarp on it, and he's like, and we're just like, what is going on here? Like, why are you awake working on a car at 4 in the morning? And like, we just go in, and there's like holes in the walls, and like cobwebs everywhere. Like the TV was like screwed into the thing, and like the bed was horrible. We literally just shoved our bass player in the little kitchen area with the air mattress, and it was like bowed like this, and he was just like laying in it like a hammock. And we're like,
Sleep
let's
in
just
this
sleep.
taco.
Yeah, let's just sleep, get it over with, and get back on the road. Yeah, it was bad, man. Like, honestly, like, and nothing crazy happened, but we definitely thought we were either getting robbed or stabbed or something was going on that night, which was super fun. But we were excited for it.
And where was that, Greg? Where was that at?
Where was that?
Belleville. It was.
Yeah.
I think it's in Belleville.
It was
Which
the
is like,
Monte Carlo Hotel or Monte Cristo Hotel. I don't even know. It was something crazy. I know we were
Monte Crisco. It's Monte Crisco.
Clown
Monty,
Hotel.
go away from this hotel as soon as you can.
Sounds
But
like something I would book.
It was like the clown of Monte Crisco.
Yeah.
yeah.
Tyler, how about you on this tour? What was?
Yeah, I don't know. That was pretty much it. And then, I mean, we just tried to pass the time. We got so long between venues and states or provinces, I guess.
There he is.
I know last time. Oh, there's the sleepy one. Last time, we usually just make up lyrics to songs.
Look at that guy.
Look at this guy.
Yeah. Where'd he go?
He's here.
Where did
Oh
he go?
no,
Now we can actually.
that makes
we can
sense.
actually ask questions.
He's the entertaining one. We're really boring.
Direct all song questions his way.
All right, so now I can go back to ask a few of the questions I had before.
I go for it.
Still song questions?
Yeah.
When it comes to Dan, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
I will take
Y'all
all
can
your
talk
retro
out of his
song
ass.
questions.
We call him Burrito Dan for a reason.
Yummy.
Yes. So, going back to the first question I asked at the beginning. My favorite is the Ballad of Razor Ramon, and I swore that the influence of that song came from a meme where it showed Razor and the rest of the Ramones. I'm just curious, is that true that the influence of that song came from that meme?
I am familiar with that meme, but the inspiration for the song came straight out of Cosmos. Literally, I was just fucking around on guitar, and I started playing the intro to Blitzkrieg Bop, and for some reason, it might have been a mild stroke. Instead of saying, hey, ho, let's go, I just stuck to the hey, yo, and then I was like, fucking wait a minute.
Brilliant. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the concept of Razor Ramon meeting the Ramones, and the fact that Diamond Dallas Page also shared the song is even better.
That was like one of the highlights of my career as a quote unquote musician, for sure. Was having DDP do something that cool for us was amazing. But yeah, it worked out really great for the song. It was really convenient that there just happened to be enough Ramones to write 2 verses about. Else it might have fucking turned into a song about the dwarves. I don't know.
Are you all wrestling aficionados?
From back in the day, for sure. I'd been away from it for a long time because it got really terrible after the whole WCW, WWE thing merged, and there was no competition, and the product got really. But at the start of this quote-unquote pandemic, friends of ours actually who have the WWE 2K19 game or whatever made characters of us and another band from Montreal that we're friends with, and they had us doing these tag team matches, and this thing has since blown up into this whole online wrestling federation. They broadcast 2 live shows a week. There's bands from all across Canada and now the States, like pretty big names now getting attached to it. So it kind of lit the fire back under me. So I've gotten into there's a newer federation called AEW, Chris Jericho guys are involved with. So it's a more competitive product because trying a little harder, so it's a little bit interesting again to watch. So I've been really impressed with how women's wrestling has come along from the time I stopped watching wrestling, where women's wrestling was really a novelty thing where they had these hot chicks and they could maybe do a head scissors, to the point now where women's wrestling is pretty seamless to watch match, which is fantastic.
Great.
You guys saw I did a bowl before we started talking, so if I get fucking jabberjaw, you feel free to cut me off at any point.
No, absolutely.
But that's what the mute button's for. Don't worry. No, go get TNA had the X division, which I really liked. That was the only thing post WCW thing. The TNA division, where it was just a lot of like, it was very luchador style, but like.
What?
Yeah, and they had that weird thing with across the top of the. I didn't watch a lot of TNA, which unfortunately now that I've gotten back into wrestling, it seems like around 2010 TNA.
Yeah.
But WCW kind of had been at its
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much is, yeah.
Missed all of that. So.
You can always go back and watch it though. It's worth watching. The X division is worth watching. All those guys that were in it that are now like spread out through all the other organizations, they were
throwback to
very
the
fun to
truth,
watch.
Yeah, it's been the kind of 16, 18 months where we needed some sort of entertainment that was kind of mindless and dumb and fun and in no way serious, as a contrast to the rest of the ridiculousness we're all going through.
Yeah. All right, Val. Your turn.
Oh, just asking earlier. So I love the horror movie stuff. All the old horror icons. What's the inspiration behind that? Like, what were you thinking in some of the, like Crystal Lake is like probably my favorite song that you guys have. And I love the video. I was talking about how much, I'm like, I haven't seen that game since like the 80s. Oh,
Yeah.
So what was the inspiration behind
it's the old cliche adage, I guess. I have always been a really big horror movie aficionado. Kind of just probably within the last couple of years as a songwriter gotten to the point that I can sort of actively sit down and say, okay, I want to write a song about this, write that song, versus for a long time it was just sort of however things came together and whatever lyrics kind of fit that came to mind, I would sort of write in that direction, and I still do sometimes, depending. Got that ability a little bit more now. We will have a Leatherface song. There is a Michael Myers song, which actually you can hear compilation, which I think you guys on the punk fucking Jesus Ramones Core Radio. So the Mike Myers song is on that one. We also have a new sort of very Lillingtons-y sort of inspired song called Organism 46B. It's one of these like Slender Man, Wikipedia, what do they call them? Cryptid type creatures.
creepypasta?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there was a cool one I read about this thing that the Russians apparently found under the ice at this place called Lake Volstock. Anyway, so there's a song about that. So it'll be 3 new horror movie inspired tunes on the new record.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm not going to go back. We're going to go forward from this point forward. So my question for you guys is, I had originally asked them before was, what your plans were for after the pandemic. Now, knowing what you know now, what do you want to do as a band moving forward in terms of playing with other bands, and do you have any aspirations of producing other bands or creating like your own label or creating like any kind of do you have like a big idea that you guys want to do as individuals, or is it just want to play shows? That's it. which is just as admirable. You know, like if you just want to play, that's great. Like, do you guys have any like aspirations, like bigger things coming up for you guys? Like, what are your dreams? What are your goals as far as that stuff goes?
Tyler feels this one for sure, but before I sort of pass it over to him, because he's sort of set up a studio for us recently. He's doing all of our soloing now. He sort of set a mock label up for us when we released the last albums. I'll let him field that. But in terms of what our intentions are as a band, I've kind of really come at this whole thing with the opinion that it's not really up to me. When the universe stops putting songs in here that stop coming out here, then we won't be a band anymore. As long as the material is coming, then we need to do something with it. So right now we're set to record like 20 plus songs for the new record. Or we might just release 8 and then I don't have to do anything for the next 3 years and we can still exist as a band releasing EPs.
True. Or if you can go just release singles, you're good for the next like 20 years.
Yep. The Followups box set fucking coming out in spring 2024.
Coolest albums anymore. You really think about it.
But anyway, Ty, tell me about the studio and what you've been doing.
Yeah, I just sort of put this thing together. I'm sort of learning like the whole like recording art, because it's art in itself. But yeah, besides like I put a label together just to release our last record, which means I just said, let's call it this, and then label it on the record. And that was about it. So, not really. I have a serious problem with taking on like a million hobbies, like one after another, like terribly bad. Like it ruins my life. But so I just wouldn't have time to put a label together, and I would stay interested in it probably for like a couple of years, and then I would be like, fuck it. So,
yeah, we had.
It's probably better I don't put a label together.
Yeah, we had to build a studio. Pretty much, Tyler was not forced into it, but like with all the lockdowns and stuff, we were wondering. We record in a whole different province for our last 2 recordings, so we were just like, what do? We can't cross the border. We sitting on songs, like, you know. So we figured, do what we can, and you know, if we start now. You know what I mean? In a little while, we won't have to worry so much. Then we can track one-offs, we can track demos, we can do splits, we can do whatever we need to, and we can do it instead of having to plan this whole thing in a studio and do all that. It's still awesome. The studio we go to is incredible, and it's our sound for sure, but it's nice to be able to do this stuff in your own home, too, which is pretty awesome. So,
these song names off this first album, which are amazing, by the way. Like, I absolutely love them. Like, I was like, who's Judy? I was like, that's actually a question. Who is Judy? Like, all these names. When after you answer that question, I was just wondering about the inspiration of these songs. Did they just come like that, or are they just like, oh, I just thought about Nancy. Let me write a song about it. I thought about Jason. Let me write a song about that. So I'm just curious about like how these songs usually just come together.
Sometimes column A, sometimes column Q. Sometimes the names are changed to protect the innocent. Judy wasn't originally called Judy, but in the interest of anonymity, I was like, fuck, what's like a super staple punk girl name that I can replace for use in this song? So Judy was the go-to. But yeah, sometimes I will. That song was literally, there was a person that I knew, and I saw them one time, and I saw them another time, and they had sort of an amount of weight, short period of time, and my brain just went, oh, she had a boyfriend, and then it became a song. Chris is getting married. I don't know if you're familiar with that song from the album. I was in a girl had just broken up with me, and she had gotten engaged to some other guy. She broke up with me because she didn't want to be in a relationship, and then she got engaged to another dude. And then I was walking past the church, and the line just went through my head. Oh, Krista dumped me. Now she's going to get married, but it kind of Going to the Chapel song. Wrote the song in my head, got the guitar up and figured it out. Then there's other times that I will agonize because I can't find the right transition, right other thing to put it to. So yeah, both ends of the spectrum and everything in between as well. Sometimes I will decide that I want to write a Leatherface song and I will sit down and do it. Other times I will see a post come by on Facebook that says it's somebody's birthday, and because I'm such an asshole, my brain go, hey, we don't give a shit about your birthday, and now that's a song that's going to be on the new record as well. So
Awesome.
Amazing.
to me, about a year and a half ago, the fucking line went through my head. Reverso, tell it to the nurse, yo. I want my vast deference back. That's going to be a fucking song on the new album. So I have no problems, I think. But the problem is,
I love it. Wow, that's amazing.
Well, yeah, this is kind of one for everybody. So somebody had mentioned earlier that everybody kind of comes from different musical influences. One for Mike in particular. Are you influenced by any horror punk, excuse me? And if so, or if not, or whatever, I wanted to hear what is everybody's musical backgrounds and influence. How did this all come together like this? What bands that inspire you, or
so I don't think anybody who can claim to be a punk rock band is not Misfits or has been something their time. So I think we've all been exposed to pretty good quality horror punk songwriting. I'm also a huge fan of the Riverdale. I really like. Also a really big fan of old camp movies. That idea of just movies most people don't know about, and it's an instant song right there that you can just sort of write around. So don't know precisely maybe where the inspiration to sort of own things into those type of songs comes from for myself. A lot of my biggest in terms of my writing are, I think, probably Queers and Screeching, kind of staple Ramones core. Dig the Lillingtons and other bands like that, but I'm not necessarily a huge fan of any horror bands outside of everybody's romance.
Cool.
and I guess Tyler.
Like he said, Misfits definitely. Misfits were probably my favorite band they were probably like the first like punk band besides like the Sex Pistols or something that I really got into. But just I'm probably more into like the thrashier, like skate punky stuff, like SNFU and bands along those lines, RKL, all that stuff. The whole Fat Record stuff, and so
Cool. And what about you, Greg?
Yeah. For me, in high school it was all punk and metal, but I played punk guitar, so a lot of the influence was like anything from like Pennywise, Bad Religion, NoFX, Propaganda, those type of things. But when I got into my 20s, I switched to straight out metal drumming. So I just played metal for like, I don't know, probably like 10 years or something like that. And influences were definitely on like the In Flamesy melodic type of side with a lot of double bass and stuff. And then I got out of music for a while, and then I started jamming with Mike and different things, and then fell back in love with punk. So it's kind of cool that I started with guitar, but now I'm in drums and I get to, and experience it a whole another time. I like it.
Awesome. All right, Chivo.
All right. Well, I guess, what do you guys do?
nothing.
Yeah. What do you like when you guys aren't playing music? What do you guys do? And then if you had a choice, let's say you could play music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you had a choice for anybody you could work with, as far as in the industry that you admire. Like if you could work with somebody or a group of musicians or anybody in in the punk field, in any part of music? Is there anybody you guys would want to work with at all, like individually, just as individuals? You ever think about that kind of if you had that choice, how would you go about doing that, or who would you want to work with?
I don't think I'm a good enough guitar player to work with anybody. So, no.
I don't know. I think it depends too. Like if it's straight working with someone and like learning from them and like just being around and like collabing and stuff like that. Any of the heavy hitting names, like Bad Religion would be a huge one because they have such a good work ethic. They write amazing. They just seem like they got their shit together for so long that they know it. But as far as like just like playing and stuff like that, man, there's so many good bands. It's not even the big bands. It's all the ones we became friends with forever. I almost want to play with every single one of those bands, and they're everywhere from all the ones on Mom's Basement, Stardom Records, you guys, all our Canadian friends. Like, there's just so many bands that, other than the big guys, it would just be that type of stuff.
All right, Rick.
And then Kaiser, he's still around.
Yeah, no. I
can never tell if you freeze up, if your internet freezes, or you just like oh.
Happens if I will do this, but it makes the internet freeze when I do it.
Scare the internet.
I put absolutely zero thought into that question. I guess if anybody, I would have to say Billy Joe Armstrong. Like I know a lot of punk, Green Day's not punk rock, blah, 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 but, they certainly fucking are a band that came from the sewers and certainly have their roots, very deeply buried in punk rock, and that guy is an amazing songwriter, and just the ride that they've been as a band, I think, would be a story to hear and to be able to take it from what they went through. It would be a gift.
Very cool.
All right, so I'm gonna. You guys kind of answered my last question already a little bit, so I'm gonna kind of spin off that. My last question was gonna be: if you guys were to create your dream tour, like where you can tour with anybody, living or dead, who would it be? But since it was sort of answered a little bit, I'm gonna add on. Where would you want to play in the future? Like, if you can play anywhere right now, like going elsewhere, where are some places you would want to play as well with this dream festival? If you were booking it, and it could be living or dead musicians, they could be living or dead.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm absolutely going back to the past, and I'm going 100% LA glam rock and hanging out with Molly Crew and Oz. See if I can survive that. Pretty tenacious, so I bet I could, but I've never snorted a line of ants, so I couldn't.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Always.
What was in is your fucking face.
Always time.
Who? Me? That's my face, but I'm just ugly.
Tyler, how about you?
Geez, for bands I would want to tour with, live or dead. I don't know. I think it'd be cool to like tour with Nirvana just for the sole purpose of being able to watch them perform live every night for the whole tour. That'd be freaking awesome. But and I could probably play guitar maybe a little worse than Kurt Cobain. So I wouldn't feel so bad either.
Well, plus heroin too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that part too. That's fun.
Just leave out the shotgun.
Yeah, I draw the line there.
Well, you, Greg.
Dude, that's a loaded question. I don't know. I mean, now I think that I play a lot of punk and all that. I think like early Warped Tour, like in the early renditions of it, like full out tours, all those early bands all together in one spot for festivals would be pretty ripping. And then, but like, man, there's so many bands that are not around from way back that it'd be hard to go. But I can tell you, if it was right now, I would definitely probably want to do like a Mom's Basement Stardom Records thing over in, Punk Rock Moderno is probably my number one thing I want to do in the close future, I would say, depending on what the hell happens in the world. So,
Can I change my answer to the Beastie Boys? And all my answers.
Nope. Why not?
Beastie
Nope.
Boys.
Nope. Cut off.
Done.
Those are like
Horror, punk, dream, fucking everything. Beastie Boys.
Well, it's a dream tour, so you can put the Beast Boys and Motley Crue if you want to at the same time.
Oh, he can't.
We're talking hypothetically.
early Beastie Boys. You could because they had the same bros kind of coming to the show.
Yeah. Started out as a hardcore band anyway, so.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Val.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask for plugs. What is coming up next? Because I asked my question.
For Tyler.
We all asked
Plugs for Tyler. But,
yes, butt plug.
I
in a ball gag for Kaiser, so he shuts up.
Shankson knows about the ball gags.
And an anal plug.
And
Cool.
performing at fucking Evening at the Improv on March 16th. You can catch that on A&E.
No, you can't.
I didn't know Canadian had an AV.
Yeah.
Goddamn plugs, eh? So,
When is
plugs.
your-
I don't even know what we're plugging. What are we plugging right now?
Well, we have
that night video?
we have a 7-inch coming out like
ooh,
soonish.
Yum.
Okay.
It's a split with Dave Rocket and the Jobbers.
Yeah.
Which will be cool. And then and then we're just working on the new record at the time, and so that hopefully will be out by the end of the year.
We've got a couple of comps as well that we're involved in. A Queers Tribute comp, which I know a little more about than that. And also another compilation that was supposed to be a collection of really short songs by bands, again, which I know a little more about than that.
cool. And where can we find those things?
We will have links and share things when stuff does happen. But we've recorded and submitted songs for these projects.
Awesome. Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
stay
very
up on our
excited to
Facebook.
hear the
and-
new stuff. You guys
got-
are on my Spotify.
What are you guys up to? Interviewing sexy Canadian punk bands?
Yes,
Yes.
which you guys are the first, by the way. This is the first.
Cool.
Like the first and only Canadian punk.
Guys,
Yeah.
I want to see Mike dance.
Oh, Mike doesn't do that.
No, you don't. No, you don't. I saw that once, and I've never been the same.
Is it the old swing hips tie? The whole,
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
yeah.
I did
The old
the
two-step.
Yeah.
The old two-step.
The old shoulder swing. It's like everything. You see someone that's slightly older at the bar, they're just doing the whole shoulder swing. That's all it is.
That's right.
You gotta make sure you're wearing your shit kickers with those.
That's like the dad dance.
Call me slightly older.
No, not you. Not you. Well, it depends. Do you do the slightly older dance? If you do,
All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming on today. We had a blast,
Thank you so much.
and I'm looking.
yeah,
we're
thanks
looking
for having
forward,
us, guys.
Yeah,
we're looking
thank you.
forward to the.
Thanks
yeah,
for
we're-
coming, guys.
You guys are a lot of fun, man. I'm actually really looking forward to the time we get to actually tour with you guys. So
It will happen.
Yes.
It will happen eventually.
eventually.
Yeah. I guess last spring was, we were ramping up to do what would have been our biggest tour to date, meeting all kinds of new cool bands and networking, and it sucks. And when it happened in March originally, we were like, oh, well, fuck, we'll do things in July. And then July came and went, and now we are coming up on the next batch. And
Awesome.
Awesome, guys.
Awesome, guys.
All right, guys. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Thank you for coming on, guys. You guys are great.
take care. We'll chat again soon.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, man.
Later,
Please,
guys.
Everybody.
be strangers. Man, give it up for the follow-ups. Woo! Hey, yo, hey, yo.
Hey, yo, Chico.
There it is.
That was awesome. Hey, Chanksta, where can we find their stuff?
They are on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, pretty much all over the web. Follow them. Yeah, follow us.
Follow up with the follow-ups. And don't forget to check out their hilarious videos on YouTube. Crystal Lake bringing back the old school Jason Nintendo game. It is awesome. Check them out. We love you. Follow-ups.
Also, one thing, make sure if you are checking out this video, subscribe to our channel.
Like, we're lame. You should follow us.
All right. Well, follow us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, on Instagram.
Like
Follow
our
us on-
ass on Facebook.
Like and subscribe.
Yep. Spotify, all that nonsense. On that note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, give it up for the follow-ups who were great tonight.
Follow ups.
Fun guys. There's a shock. She has to pee, folks.
Yeah.
So we gotta go.
We got to go.
Literally.
Lousie's out.
Lousie's out. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Really explain to us how to do Hey Yo.
1, 2, 3.
Hey!
Hey,
Yo.
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 Hey, yo.
Hey,
Hey,
yo.
yo.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
There's no coordination with him. Why would you do this to him? He's like, why would you do? He's like 3 seconds behind you.
catch a glimpse.
He's like, hey, you're like, hey yo, and he's like, hey, yo,
Hey, yo.
yo, what's going on here?
Like, listen, though. I actually sound like Scott Hall. 'Cause that's how
No,
he
you
sounds.
sounded like poor prince.
You sound like you're petting a small animal and going, hey yo,
Hey, yo.
hey, yo. Oh, broke it.